Hello, my name is Walter Reiter, and I am the author of the two-volume book, The Baroque Violin and Viola, a 50-lesson course, published by Oxford University Press. I've spent the last 4 decades performing and teaching the Baroque violin and viola. And I decided to put down on paper as much of the experience and knowledge that I'd acquired over that time so that future generations could learn from the book, whether they were considering specializing in the Baroque violin or whether they were modern instrumentalists who wanted to know why their Baroque colleagues play the way they do. And therefore, this book will take you right through from the basics of how to hold the instrument, very important, affects the sound and the movements of the body, right through to the most advanced violin music of the Baroque period. Now, we talk about Baroque. What we really mean by Baroque is the music of the 17th and the first part of the 18th centuries. And styles and fashions, both in the writing and therefore in the performing and the technique of playing during those 150 years, was constantly shifting and changing, going in and out of fashion, rather like today's popular music does. And so, in a way, the 21st century Baroque violinist or violist is doing something which is completely unhistorical. Because in the 17th century, a violinist in, let's say, Mantova, played according to local traditions, local techniques, he learned from a local master, and there was very little influence from distant cities or other countries. Whereas we, in the 21st century, need to study all those different styles to discover how the music was written and therefore how it can be best performed to make the most authentic, by which I mean convincing, performance. And that's really what the stylistic and technical study of the Baroque violin and viola involves. So when a student comes who may be very well developed in terms of technical facility and can play the concertos of Szymanowski and Sibelius, our first task is, in a sense, to unlearn what they've learned so far, or if you like, to dismantle their technique and to start from the beginning, which sounds a little daunting, but it's a slow process of adapting. And after all, any kind of change is a learning experience. The function of the right hand is so different on the Baroque violin, not because of the instrument, but because of the repertoire, because of the way the music is written. This smooth, seamless legato stroke that we struggle so hard to perfect on the modern violin is the absolute antithesis to the rhetorical, articulated Baroque style of writing and therefore playing. The left hand too has different functions, and of course the ear has to adapt to the different pitches, but also to the different historical temperaments, and therefore to the historical intonation. So the two instruments, although they look outwardly to be the same, in fact, the more we go into the Baroque instruments, the more we understand that they are very different from their modern counterparts. The book, therefore, is a process of adapting from the modern to the convincingly Baroque way of playing. And it includes much information, but also many exercises to help improve one's understanding of the music and one's understanding of the techniques that are most convincing for the performance of that music. What it doesn't do is to provide very basic technical information, astylistic technical information, the functioning of the fingers or of the wrist or of the fingers of the right hand, for example. And there are some students who need that basic information. And here the teacher in the conservatory is faced with something of a dilemma. How much of the time are they going to devote to purely technical development and how much to the stylistic work which is so necessary for the development of the Baroque violinist or viola player? Our task is to bring those with a less developed technique up to the level of those who have played their Szymanowski and Prokofiev, because they will compete together for the jobs in the Baroque orchestras of the future. This website, this site, will provide basic technical information for those who feel they need it. And I've used the media of the video because isolating one particular aspect of technique, for example, the independence of the fingers or the movements of the fingers, is very important and cannot be absorbed as easily in a single lesson as it can be in a video that's specifically devoted to that aspect of technique. For these videos can be viewed over and over again until the information contained in it is not only understood but also absorbed, assimilated. And that is the object of this site, to provide detailed technical information to those who feel they need it and can advance to that higher level where their dreams of becoming the Baroque musicians of tomorrow may be realized. So I leave you with the hope that you will profit, benefit, and enjoy the videos on this site. Thank you.